So my name is Moritz. I'm a permafrost researcher. So that means I work mostly in the Arctic and deal with frozen ground. So everything that is frozen and in the Arctic and cold, that is the topic of my research. That is frozen ground. And frozen ground is not now a very precise definition. Frozen ground means in that definition everything that is longer frozen than 2 years. So everything that is frozen than more than 2 years completely and does not thaw is considered permafrost. The Arctic is warming much faster than the global average. But the main reason why the Arctic is experiencing so much faster warming is because we lose the ice on the Arctic Ocean. Ice means it is white and it reflects a lot of the incoming sunlight in summertime. And when we lose that ice, then basically that heat gets stored in the Arctic Ocean, leading to a warming of the Arctic Ocean. And this warms can come out again from the ocean and warm up the surrounding, meaning warming the entire Arctic. And that basically leads to this amplification. We say amplified or accelerated Arctic warming. Here in this context, we talk about pollutants that directly originate in the Arctic because of activities, industrial activities in the Arctic. Basically, our activities as human beings, a lot have to do with the extraction of resources. That means we are looking there for oil and gas and minerals, but we also do some agriculture, for example, forestry in the Arctic. And all these activities that we human do are associated with handling and bringing up substances in the Arctic that are not necessarily naturally located there. And they have to be they are either released by accident, and sometimes they are intentionally also stored in the Arctic when they are not longer used. So first of all, permafrost forms a pretty solid base for both infrastructure, and it is also used as a stable platform for waste disposal. And that means permafrost was also on purpose used because it is frozen and it does not allow contaminants to further go into the ground. So it forms, we call this a hydrological barrier. So with the current climate warming trend, we would see from these 10 to 20,000 contaminated sites that about 8,000 contaminated sites would be then kind of located on thawing permafrost ground and become maybe at risk or get at risk that the contamination spread further. If we keep the limits that we have set ourselves, for example, during the COP meeting in Paris, where we said we definitely want to stay below 2-degree warming, or even reduce it to 1.5 degree warming, which is getting less and less realistic that we can hold this, then we would see the problem would be less bigger. So we definitely would reduce that risk of mobilizing contaminants by a factor of more than 2, even a factor of 3. We would reduce the problem that we would see if we continue with the warming as we do right now. So this was a really lucky coincidence for me that I started studying geography just simply because I definitely wanted to work outside, and I wanted always to work in the most exciting landscapes and areas that are around the planet. So I had the chance to see a lot while studying geography, and then the Arctic caught my attention because this is really a unique place, and if you had the chance to be there once, you immediately feel that this is a very special area. There I also saw the downside of what happens in the Arctic with the industrial use of the Arctic. So when you imagine this very pristine and incredible nice place on the one side, and then you see spots where you have this heavy industry going on, which is a completely contrast then, This is kind of a very also important point that made me then also more focus on that specific topic and pollutants and also problems with infrastructure on permafrost areas.